and welcome. Today we are talking about Symfony folder structure. Symfony has four main folders: the app folder, the source folder, the vendor folder, and the web folder. In the app folder, you'll find configuration files, logs, cache, resources, and a resource is, for example, a template, a view, a macro, something that you want to share with the rest of your application. You'll also find Symfony's initialization code. Symfony's initialization code is in a file named appkernel.php. This file contains a list of the dependencies and third-party packages to load and initialize with Symfony. In this case, for example, let's say that we want to use PHP as our templating engine. So we can simply comment out twig bundle, and this way it won't be loaded when we initialize Symfony. Next, we have the source folder. The source folder contains your application code. This is going to be your main folder. In Symfony, code is structured in bundles, and a bundle is nothing more than a mini application. It's self-contained and isolated, and bundles don't have to be related to each other. So you can host within the same Symfony codebase different websites or applications. As the name suggests, the vendor folder contains third-party code. This will be Symfony's dependencies, but also your application dependencies. All the code in the vendors folder is managed by Composer. Finally, we have the web folder. This should be the only folder that's exposed by the web server. It contains static files like CSS, JavaScript, or images, and also contains two very important files, the Symfony entry point scripts. By default, Symfony provides two environments, one optimized for production and one optimized for development. We'll see more about environments and configuration files on the next episode. Before moving on, let's quickly take a look at these two files. The app.php file is the one that's optimized for production. As such, it's heavily cached and gives you no information about the errors. This is a typical error page you get on a production environment. The app_dev.php is optimized for development. So there's no caching whatsoever. That means that every change you make will be available immediately, and you get verbose error information and a nice debug toolbar in the bottom of your page. This is the typical error message you get in the development environment. You find information about the exception, a struct case, and much more detailed information than what you get on production. Well, that's all for today. I hope you've liked it. The next episode will be about Symfony configuration files and environments. There's a quiz for today's episode at this address that will test your knowledge on Symfony folder structure. As always, like it if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, and leave a comment. It's always nice to hear from you.